don't have an intro, but it's your project.
Yeah. Hi, friends, family of the internet. I am here. Welcome to Google Translate Out. It's a terrible name. She came up with the name. This is Katie. I'm Preston. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be playing a game today with Google Translate, which is one of the top web things of the internet. Put that in your research papers. So we have different phrases that we have in English. We're going to plug them into Google Translate. 5 different languages. Put it back into English, and the other person has to guess what the original phrase was.
It goes from English to Spanish to Japanese to French to German to Russian.
Back to English. The winner gets a point, which will, Katie's points are here, my points are up there in this general vicinity. And the loser has to do a dare. We put our own dares in here, and we're all absolutely terrified. So,
right.
Do you want to go first or me to go first?
I'll go first.
No. I'm really scared. So while she is translating, I'm going to be reading from Max Brooks' World War Z, An Oral History of the Zombie War. Let's get started, shall we? Warnings. The first outbreak I saw was in a remote village that officially had no name. The residents called it New Dachang. But it was more out of nostalgia than anything else. Their former home, Old Dachang, had stood since the period of the Three Kingdoms, with farms and houses and even trees said to be centuries old. The hospital was quiet. It had been a slow night, even for the increasing number of drunk driving accidents. Motorcycles were becoming very popular. We used to say that your Harley Davidson killed more young children, all the GIs in the Korean War. That's why I was so grateful for a quiet shift. I was tired. My back ached, my feet ached. I was on my way out to smoke a cigarette and watch the dawn when I heard my name being paged. The receptionist that night was new and couldn't quite understand the dialect. There had been an accident. Or an illness. It was an emergency, that part was obvious, but she asked me to please sit down to help at once. What could I say? The younger doctors, the kids, who think medicine is just a way to pad their bank accounts, certainly we're going to help some Nongmen?
They should hire you to read audiobooks.
Just for the sake of helping. I guess I'm still an old revolutionary at heart. Our duty is to hold ourselves responsible for the people. Those words still mean something, and I tried to remember that as my deer bounced and banged over dirt roads the government had promised but never once got around to paving. I had a devil of a time finding the place. Officially it didn't exist, and therefore wasn't on any map in the world. I became lost several times and had to ask for directions from locals who kept thinking I meant the museum town. I was in an impatient mood by the time I reached the stall collection of Hilltop. Turned the page. Homes. I remember thinking,
almost done.
This had better be damn serious. Once I saw their face, I regretted my wish.
Oh no.
Slow-fade.
This says, during the meal, makeup tutorial, algebra, soup concert.
What? So during the meal, we're going to do a makeup tutorial in algebra after we eat soup at a concert. What did it actually say?
It said, makeup tutorials for algebra at the concert while eating soup.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
My turn. Hi guys. Football's more important than education, so we were shoved downstairs to the basement.
Tiptoe through the window.
But where we last left off, I was translating my phrase, and I finished it through English, Spanish, Japanese, French, German, Russian. The new phrase is I see dead people.
The old phrase was I see dead people.
I see dead people.
So Katie, this is your last,
Okay.
and my last one. It's now time for World War Z, Max Brooks. When we last left off, we were on page 6 of
A bunch.
6. There were 7 of them, all on cots, and all barely conscious. The villagers had moved them into the new communal meeting hall. The walls and floors were bare cement. The air was cold and damp. Of course they were sick, I thought. I asked a villager who had been taking care of these people. They said it wasn't safe. I noticed that a door had been locked from the outside. The villagers were clearly terrified. They cringed and whispered. Some kept their distance and prayed. Their behavior made me angry, not at them, you must understand, not as individuals, but what they represented about our country. After centuries of foreign oppression, exploitation and humiliation. We were finally reclaiming our rightful place as humanity's middle kingdom!
Oh my goodness.
We're the world's richest and most dynamic superpower masters of everything from outer space to cyberspace. It was the dawn of what the world was finally acknowledging as the Chinese century. And yet, so many of us still lived like these ignorant peasants, as stagnant and as superstitious as the earliest Yangtze savages. I was still lost in my grand cultural criticism when I knelt to examine the first patient. She was running a high fever, 40 degrees centigrade, and was shivering violently. Barely coherent, she whimpered slightly when I tried to move her limbs. There was a wound in her right forearm, a bite mark. As I examined it more closely, I realized that it wasn't from an animal. The bite radius and teeth marks had come from a small, or possibly young, human being. Although I hypothesized this to be a source of the infection, the actual injury was surprisingly clean. I asked the villagers again who had been taking care of these people. Again, they told me no one. I knew this could not be true. The human mouth is packed with bacteria, even more so than the unhygienic dog. If no one had cleaned this wound, why wasn't it throbbing with infection? Question mark. I examined the other 6 patients. They all showed similar symptoms and had similar wounds on various parts of their bodies. I asked one man, the most lucid of the group, who or what inflicted these injuries. He told me it happened when they tried to subdue him. Who? I asked. I found patient 0 behind the locked door of an abandoned house across town. He was 12 years old. His wrists and feet were bound with plastic packing twine. Although he had rubbed off the skin around his bonds, there was no blood. There was also no blood on the other wounds, not on the gouges on his left legs or arms, or from the large dry gap where his right toe had been. He was writhing like an animal, a gag muffled his growls. At first the villagers tried to hold me back. They warned me not to touch him, that he was cursed. I shrugged them off and reached for my mask and gloves. The boy's skin was as cold and gray as the cement on which he lay. I found neither his heartbeat nor his pulse. His eyes were wild, wide and sunken back in their sockets. They remained locked in me like a predatory beast. Through the examination, he was inexplicably hostile, reaching for me with his bound hands and snapping at me through his gag. His movements were so violent I had to call for 2 of the largest villagers to help me hold him down. They wouldn't budge, cowering in the doorway like baby rabbits.
Alright,
I
we're
explained
done.
that there was no risk of infection, and if they used gloves and masks, when they shook their heads,
Hey, we're done!
I made an order, even though I had no lawful authority
Okay.
to do so.
So this sentence says, we feel the penguin killed Angel Face.
It's not fair. We feel the penguin.
Killed Angel Face.
So, we felt the penguin and killed the weeping angel with the face of Bo.
None of it was Doctor Who related. Sorry, the penguin killed the face of the angel.
What the heck? Katie's going to read now.
That was all it took. I can't read this with a straight face, which is sad. The 2 oxen knelt beside me. One held the boy's feet while the other grasped his hands. I tried to take a blood sample and instead extracted only brown matter. As I was withdrawing the needle, the boy began another bout of violent struggling.
Oh, well then.
One of my orderlies, the one responsible for his arms, gave up trying to hold them, and then thought it was safer if he just braced them against the floor with his knees. But the boy jerked again and I heard his left arm snap.
I love this book!
Jagged ends of both radius and ulna bones stabbed through his gray flesh. Although the boy didn't cry out, didn't even seem to notice. It was enough for both assistants to leap back and run from the room. I instinctively retreated several paces myself.
I would have done that the second that I went into the room and he started
I'd
to
be
like
like-
gnaw at me.
Like, oh, he doesn't look human. I should run.
Yeah, exactly. Let me experiment on him because
Yeah.
that is what we do in America. I think they're in America. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the
Only
first.
Americans would do something that's stupid.
Are you ready?
No.
In English, the sentence is, cat and cheese for the widespread corruption of the body of my enemy is my favorite.
Cat and cheese spread corrupted the body of my favorite enemy.
Cheese and cats are my favorite thing to spread on the dead, decaying organisms that are my enemy. Let's go for America! Woo! The rules of the dare are as follows. There are 4 dares, 5 technically. If you choose a dare and you don't wish to do it,
You have to eat
you have
dog
to eat dog food. So if you don't do the dare, you get dog food, so yeah.
I'm so scared.
I would be very, very scared, because I'm scared. Falling publicly! No, it's gonna be awkward. It's my turn. 1, 2. Oh no! No!
Did you get the bad one? I don't even know what it is.
How have a conversation about the situation in Syria with the dog. I don't know the situation in Syria. I'll do the other one. Send a text message to one of your parents saying that you killed someone. Don't ask who. And can you hide the body? I eat dog food. That's
You're
not a
gonna
very
eat dog
painful way. Yeah, this is the fun one. Go to a public place and have a survey with people using 3 questions. The 3 questions are as follows. What toilet paper do you use? What type of razor do you use? How many pets do you not have? What's your cousin's maiden name? What shampoo do you use for your eyebrow? And if you could lick anything, what would you lick?
All of those or just 3?
3. Go to Radio Shack. Because the girls of Radio Shack people have nothing better to do with their lives because it's not crowded there.
So we gotta go to Radio Shack?
Let's go to Radio Shack.
Am I gonna fall publicly in there?
Hi guys, so we just finished all of our dares. I got my roll of questions. She sat down in the middle of the store. We look like idiots, but if you want to see those dares, fantastic and stupid, you'll have to wait for a sooner or later video. But right now I'm gonna go edit this.
Sometime next week, it'll be up.
So, peace and all that. I'll see you guys later. Bye!